Morning, all. Starting today with number 9 on the average when it comes to the draft prospects for 2020. Anton Lundell of Finland. Now, Lundell, maybe he's going to end up being one of those guys who flew under the radar because he didn't play at the World Junior Championships. World Junior Championships, I'm going to go ahead and say it. It does get overblown. Where a guy does really well at the World Junior Championships, and you see him explode up the charts for the rankings and the draft. Or you'll see a guy have a bad World Juniors, and they just, everybody trashes him, like Askarov, the goaltender, who's supposed to go in the top 10. Clearly, dog not a fan of Askarov. Anyways, actually, there's another dog walking around, so that dog's not a fan of that dog. Just walk around his neighborhood, clearly. So, Anton Lundell's a center. He's 6'1", 187 pounds. And I'm wearing a Montreal Canadiens jersey because I think he fits Montreal. Everything that I'm seeing, I say, you know what? He sounds like kind of a Guy Carbonneau throwback. But, again, with today's game, and with him being drafted so high, it may very well be a Sean Couturier type that he turns out to be. But again, he's a center. Projected NHL size. He's been playing against men. Things look pretty good. And if he'd played well at the World Junior Championships, maybe he'd be rated a little higher than this. He's 13th currently on Hockey Prospect. They have yet to release their final prospect rankings. So we'll see if that changes over the next couple of weeks. And when they release their final draft rankings, I may take a final look at where people might go in the draft. And once we know who's drafting where, we'll have a better idea of how a mock draft could go. Number 6, ranked by International Scouting Services. NHL Central Scouting has him ranked 3rd among European skaters. Elite Prospects has him going 10th. And as I said, the average across all these sites is 9th. And Goodreads in all 3 zones acts like a third defenseman. It sounds like he's very defensively responsible. The one caveat I saw was that people want him to shoot more. Why? Because his strengths: shooting accuracy, puck handling, and acceleration. Shooting accuracy being the top one. He may be one of those guys who ends up with a shooting percentage that's over 20%, and you as a fan of that team is saying, I really wish he'd take more shots because he's got a lethal shot, but his preference is to either pass or wait for the perfect shot, which can lead to a higher shooting percentage. So, Anton Lundell, it sounds like, is your complete two-way player in this draft. Probably not as flashy. Lundell's the kind of guy that you may see him get taken earlier than expected, and we may be looking at this on the draft live stream and saying, well, I'm surprised Lundell went there because so-and-so's still on the board. I would have thought he's the flashier pick, but a team may look at Lundell and say, this guy's going to play in the NHL. At the very worst, he's a third-line center. At the very worst, he's an excellent penalty killer, and he's very, very responsible in his own zone. And teams absolutely want that. So in one of the mock drafts that I saw, they said he fits Minnesota. Agreed. He fits Minnesota. Mikko Koivu's getting older. Anton Lundell, Finnish center, plays both ways, has some good offensive upside and good hands. That would be an absolutely good fit. I'm going with Montreal just because when I was reading up on him, I'm like, a lot of Guy Carbonneau I see in this. Now, 2019... he wins gold with Finland at the World Junior Championships. He was injured. He was unable to compete in the 2020 World Junior Championships, where Finland finished 4th. And so, did they miss him? Well, probably, yes. I'm going to say, yeah. I mean, he would have been one of the best players there, and he was very good in 2019's World Juniors, so, yeah. Now, in Liga in Finland, playing for HIFK last year, 2018-2019, 38 games played, 9 goals, 10 assists, 19 points. This season, 2019-2020, 44 games, 10 goals, 18 assists, 28 points. So again, if you're looking for a guy who can probably push for a roster spot right away, Lundell can do that. And it's a solid, it's a deep draft. Again, this to me feels like a guy who one of two things could end up happening. Either he gets taken earlier than we expect, or we start to see a bit of a slide because maybe a GM goes, I'd rather have Askarov. I need the goaltending. Maybe you see a team jump up into a spot that says we don't really need a center. And again, when I hear somebody say, well, my team doesn't need a center, it just, I'm always kind of baffled. If it's the best player available and if it's a really good center, take him. Worst case scenario, you have too many centers and one of them has to move to the wing. That's worst case scenario. And the other part of that worst case scenario is you pass on him, and then years later, people are going back going, why didn't they take that guy? And a lot of the times when we look back on draft mistakes, it might be a team looking going, well, yeah, he's going to be really good, but we don't need that position right now. We need this position, so we're going to draft this guy instead. And Lundell, we'll see where he gets taken. As I said, complete two-way player, and his offensive and defensive game pretty darn near equal on the charts I was looking at. He's good. He's very good back checker. He's solid at both ends of the rink. Solid in the neutral zone. Very good away from the puck. Protects the puck very, very well. Just a solid all-around player. May not be the spectacular, sexy pick that people are looking for in the first round for their team, but likely a very solid NHL player, and seems like the kind of guy who may end up having a very long career because he's very good away from the puck. So even if that offensive game doesn't become, explosive at the NHL level, he still has a job because he can still play really, really well away from the puck. I'm not trying to diminish the offensive game. It's there. Shooting accuracy shows that it's there. His numbers in Finland, not too shabby, but the biggest thing with him is the fact that he is a really, really good two-way player. And like I said, he may end up being another Sean Couturier type. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below in regards to Anton Lundell and how you'd feel. And if you're a Montreal fan, do you think he'd be the kind of player you'd like to see Montreal take? And let me know your thoughts in the comment section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. It means a lot. I will talk to you again soon.